Welcome to A Funny Thing Called Business. We are 4 business owners with over 50 years experience under our belts, sharing the capers and triumphs of running a small business and how we now avoid perilous customer chaos and pitfalls. I'm Clare Worley from Metaphor Business Coaching. We also have
Darren Angley from Gravitas.
Kate Curry from Kudos Creative.
P. Morgan from Monkey Pants Productions.
Lovely. So you may have just noticed that I really emphasise 50 years collective experience. I've been talking.
That's just me, isn't it?
I've been saying we have 30 years, and
Yeah.
I just added it up the other day, and it's like it's over 50.
But we've been doing this for a few years now.
Yeah,
but
I was
gonna say,
the
yeah,
20
experience number has remained the same, hasn't it?
But anyway, it's over 50 years. So, right, today we are talking about the pros and cons of office to home working.
Right.
So, just first of all, give us a status. What are you, both office and home working, or where are you at? I'm office/home because they're one and the same. I do get out every now and then, but I would say the majority office/home.
Home office.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I think that's just working from
That's home. That's home.
that's
Okay,
just home.
fine.
Unless you
Well, I'm on a
live in an office building or something.
Well, I'm on a different floor, and it feels very separate. So I guess,
And you get the elevator to work.
Yeah,
that kind
all
of
of
thing.
that.
So, yeah. Well, we work hybrid as well. So we have the office and we're in the office.
hybrid. That's a good word.
That is the word. If you do both, I believe that is
That's the lingo now,
the
isn't
common
it?
parlance. So we do half the week in the office and just over half the week. We do 3 days in the office, 2 days from home.
Okay.
But sometimes it swings the other way and we do 2 in the office, 3 from home, depending on how lazy I feel, really.
Oh,
If I want
Is
to
that the
lie in,
barometer?
if I want to have a little lie in the morning, maybe we'll...
On a Monday morning briefing, there's a little
like,
yawn and a stretch
yeah.
we'll do like a bit more from home this week.
So, Kate, what's your status?
Current status is hybrid as well.
Mm.
And I know we'll probably go into this in all the subsequent questions that come after this, but yeah, that works really well. I think it gives you the best of both worlds, and in my opinion, you need both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you sway more to office or home?
Slightly, yes, more
Yeah.
office than home.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Pete?
Pure home, same as you.
You're me.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
office, home
yeah.
office.
I have a home office, and that's the good thing. And again, that may be something we get into, but the room I use is my office. When I shut the door,
Yeah.
there's no reason to go back into
No.
that room.
Yeah, it's the same as mine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're tucked away as
Yes.
well, so you don't see that space
No.
really.
No,
Okay, and
Yeah.
that makes a big difference, I think.
it does absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm-
Okay.
My home office is also tucked away, but it's
Is
kind of the
it?
home office/storeroom where everything just gets piled up.
Oh, no,
Which
I
is
couldn't
why I
have
always
that.
blur the backgrounds on my Zoom calls because it's just boxes and things like that. That wasn't the intention, but that
But
seems to be
No.
the way it's gone.
It could be like a business networking jumble sale. I mean, people
Actually,
could
that's a
be.
good idea.
Hey,
There's plenty in there.
That jumper there, Darren, is that for sale at all?
I
Or,
could put
you
like
know?
little tags on the wall.
Exactly.
Yeah. All of this stuff is for sale.
I couldn't have people dumping stuff in my office. I think that's quite a big thing, isn't it?
Well, yes. But it's generally me that does it as well.
Oh, okay,
So I guess
fine.
that is
Fine, okay.
But
Yeah.
that's because I'll go in the living room, the kids will have left something, so I'm like, right, pick that up. Where they obviously don't want this, we'll stick that in the office, and that becomes
Yeah.
the pile.
My office is a bit of a dumping ground as well. Yeah.
Oh, it makes me twitch. Okay, so let's talk about what are the benefits of having your working life set up in the way that you've got. And I just want to kick us off on this because as I was thinking about it, do you know how I was thinking about and planning this episode?
Go on.
I was sat in my home office and I've got a lovely kind of Juliet balcony and I was sat there, the sun streams in at 3 o'clock. I was sat there with my legs up on my desk, topping up my tan as I was like planning this, and I thought, yes, this is what it's all about. Sunshine, 30 degrees. I've got this beautiful, full ceiling to floor space, all open, topping up my tan.
You just need a hunky man feeding you grapes. Just to
Well, my
complete the
husband
picture.
sometimes pops in with an orange juice. So, Kate, what about for you? What's the kind of benefits to you, or perhaps cons where it's, it's hybrid?
Well, when I started my business, I was entirely from home, and like you guys, I would like find a separate space, but it was still at home. It was still at home. And it was only when I started to think about employing people that I felt the need to like find a completely physically separate space where I had to like have some kind of commute to get there. And I remember going there and be working there every day then, so I made the complete jump really to go and work completely in another office. And on a Friday when you pull that door shut and turn the lock, and it feels very much like work is here and now I can go home, and home is home, and I can just relax and put my feet up with the sun streaming on me, but without having work around me, which is like, so there was that, but then COVID came along and sort of shook everything up the way we all work, didn't it? And that was when I decided that actually I think having this hybrid approach would be much better, because being completely at home, I was very like, it can get so distracting, like I'll just quickly empty the dishwasher, or or just go and like water the garden or something, or pair some socks, and I don't know, I'll get very distracted by stuff. If it's in my peripheral vision, I'm like, oh, I better just go and do that. Whereas in your office, you're just absolutely laser focused on the business, which is so that's the benefit of that. But then sometimes coming back home again is quite relaxing. You haven't got to make any effort. You can just sit there in your pajamas, or at least like put a shirt on if you're on a Zoom call, take it back off when you're finished. So it's like it's nice to have that little bit more of a relaxed environment if you want to work on something else, maybe like working on the business or doing your social media or that kind of stuff. So I feel you've got two different spaces there to work on different types of sides of your business.
Interesting. So you do separate tasks out.
I think I do, yeah. I wasn't sure that was going to be my answer, actually. But that's a good answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
But one thing I was going to say is things like maths. If I've got to do my accounts, I have to be at home. I cannot do maths in the office. There's like orange lights, there's people to talk to, there's pretty things everywhere, and I'm like, oh, that's creative mode, and I have to go home to do maths. And
interesting.
It's weird.
Do you do separate things at home?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my story is very similar to Kate's, and obviously our paths have crossed in terms of working spaces and things like that. And yeah, I do delegate. I mean, like when I think about invoicing, I'm like, I really need to catch up on my invoicing. I'll do it this Friday when I'm working from home.
Yeah.
I don't do it when we're in the office, and it's far more productive when I'm in the office, and the team is there, and we kind of can do stuff together, and although we usually just sit in silence. But theoretically. So yeah, there are definitely more working on the business type tasks that I do when I'm at home, and I kind of feel like I'm a bit more cut off from the sort of central hub of the business, if you like, or the actual work in a way, or it can feel like that way. But yeah, I mean, my story was very similar, because when I started out, just me on my own, that was literally one of the reasons I started my own business, was because I didn't want to go to an office 9 to 5. I was sick of that, and I was only 28, no, I was 32, something like that. But so one of the cool things was I didn't want to work 9 to 5, and I didn't want to go to an office. So I just wanted to work the hours I wanted to work from home. This is in 2008, and that was the core thing. So obviously, then when the business expands, and I actually had my very first office in 2013. And I hired somebody, and we worked in the office, which was actually the back of what became a gin bar. It's no longer a gin bar anymore, but it wasn't a gin bar at the time either, unfortunately. It was an estate agent's. But we were in like the back room there, and it was great again from that perspective. But I also it's like, oh, I've got to go to the office, and I've got to put my clothes on. I don't know, whatever it is. I suppose it's best to have a shower. I don't know. And when that kind of that period was like, we're going to change. I'm going to go back home and work from home, and let the guy go. And I just kind of reverted back to how I was before, and it did feel good, But then, as Kate said, it grows, and you really do want to kind of grow the business. You've got to have, I think, a space where everyone can come together.
Yeah.
So that's my theory anyway, because I work better when we're doing face to face. I'm not so good at doing delegating remotely or whatever it might be. And I also often think, like, if you're doing that via Slack or email or whatever, and you're trying to give out work, it sometimes comes off wrong. Like, do this, and then they're like, oh, I've got to do this right now because he's just said to do it. But it's
'cause
like, do
it's
this
an
when you get a
instant.
chance.
Yeah.
It's,
With a smiley face.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not urgent, so don't worry. It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
But you can get that sort of instruction across much easier in an office when you're just talking to your team. You know.
Yeah.
And also, I think when you're starting out, and like both of us have taken on quite like young people, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like apprentices or juniors or graduates,
Absolutely.
and they need to learn from somebody, don't they? I think it's very hard to really learn the trade when you're working remotely.
Yeah.
You've got people to just
Absolutely.
you're not exposed to the comings and goings of what goes on in an agency
and the detail.
and all the things that go on around you. And it's, I think that's really important, especially if you're early on in your career.
Well, I mean, what's funny about that? Well, not funny because not funny in the funny thing called business funny, but funny in the what's interesting about that is that you think young people, it's all about the kind of hybrid and remote working, and they're quite capable of that. That's what they want. It's a very millennial or Gen Alpha or whatever it is these days approach to work.
Zed.
But whatever. But exactly what you said, really, Kate. And I was speaking to Emily in my team, who's doing a graduate apprenticeship degree course at the moment. And part of that is I'm mentoring her as part of her degree. And she was saying about how other people on the course are mentored, but they've never actually met their mentor in person. It's all remote. They're in big businesses. They don't really know who each other are. And they're kind of not getting that mentoring. And it's like, I think it's quite noticeable from perhaps the results or whatever it is that they're getting on the course, how different it is if you're being mentored face to face as opposed to kind of remotely by video.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting talking to Emily about that.
So, Pete, what about for you? Because we're quite similar. Pros mostly or mostly cons about working from home?
It's mostly pros. I mean, it's. I would find it very difficult to work in an office, and I've thought in the past, obviously there's kind of a hot desk in, and in fact, Kate, I know I've been and worked in Kate's office in the past, but I chose a day when it was just admin stuff. Actually doing the audio editing, I've got to be on my own because I like using speakers rather than using headphones.
Yeah.
So I can do it out and about, but it just doesn't work, and I'm not going to enjoy it as much. So the pro is I'm in the best space to do the best work that I can do for my customers, and it makes me happy as well. So
That's the most important thing, isn't it,
absolutely,
Pete? That you're
but
happy.
I use it as well. So I do we've talked about this in the past. I do kind of a Pomodoro technique.
Yes.
But I do 45 minutes and 15 minutes. But in the 15 minutes, that is when I bowl socks. That is when I water.
Do you do the 15 minutes? Because I'm really good at the 45, but I don't do the
Yeah. I do
after.
I absolutely do, because that's when it's like, right, I've got to just quickly do this bit of laundry, or right, I've just quickly got to sort out the dog's food and stuff like that. So it absolutely works for me. I miss the personable side of being in an office.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
the thing you don't get.
Me too.
You don't get the, did you hear what such a body said to such a body?
No.
No office gossip when you're on your own.
No.
No one office gossips anyway now because of HR and all that kind of stuff. It's like
True.
So, what do you wish maybe that you'd done a little bit differently when it came into hybrid working? Because I know COVID enforced a lot of hybrid or whatever, the changes happened. Anything that you wish you'd have done a bit differently? See, I wish I'd have been more of an advocate or put stronger boundaries for that kind of Pomodoro, the 15 minutes. Because what I did do was right, I can pack loads more into my diary. I can do back-to-back Zoom calls. And, obviously that's no good, is it? No. It made me loads more productive, but a lot unhappier and stressed and kind of...
Yeah.
So
that
that's
was
my big difference.
that for me, it's like that delineation. I would have absolutely set better boundaries, even just kind of the room that I'm in, because as I say, it is a bit of a dumping ground, but to kind of go, right, well, it can't be that.
Yeah.
It's got to be, kind of, it is my workspace. So, yeah, I think having the time again, I would really work harder on the space that I'm going to be working in.
Okay.
That's not funny at all, is it?
But it's very practical, and we also like practical.
We do.
Kate, got some funnies, or is it practical?
I don't know. Let's see. I think so. What was the question? Would we do things differently?
Anything that you'd have done differently when it went to hybrid?
When we went to hybrid,
Yeah.
I do think that I think the hybrid model would have been really nice to implement a bit earlier on. I kind of wish I didn't even think about it.
I don't think anybody
We'd
did.
bought
that,
like great big desktop like iMacs that
Yeah.
were really difficult to manoeuvre, and then when we all had to go home working, work remotely, and then we had to like go drop them off, like pick them up and drop them off at I had to go and drop one off at Shannon's house and she had to come out and pick it up, and then she tripped over the wire and broke the screen.
Oh my
and then,
God!
So we had to go and get that repaired. But now we have
cried.
laptops that we plug into monitors.
Laptops.
So yeah, we have like a. I know, yeah. But I was like, why didn't I think of that? Because
How futuristic.
yeah, but I thought we just needed like this big screen, and you do need it. You do need a big screen to do like graphic work, but you can also do it on a small screen as well if you've got really strong glasses on.
Yeah.
But you can take it to a coffee shop. You can take it, wherever really. I'm trying to think of something funny. I don't know, the swimming baths.
Oh, you don't want to take it to the swimming baths. The moisture will get in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thanks
And the chlorine will make your hair a bit frizzy. You wouldn't look good on your Zoom calls. So yeah, I think I wish that I'd thought a bit more outside the box really when we first set everything up and got all the equipment in the first place. To think, why don't we just work remotely? And that just gives us all so much more flexibility, so much more freedom. If you're not feeling very well, like, no, I'm going to work from home today because I just need to like curl up in a ball and I can still do some work.
Yeah,
and it just makes it helps to make your business work much better with your life. It helps to give that balance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Your business is going places, but is your website keeping up? At Gravitas Web Design, we create professional websites for ambitious businesses, sites that look incredible and help you win more customers. From web design and software development to SEO and ongoing improvements, we make sure your website works as hard as you do. Visit gravitaswebdesign.com today. Gravitas Web Design, professional websites for ambitious businesses.
See, I'm hearing really good things, like Gen Z have got it right. I hear lots of people talking about their grown-up kids, like 25, who are really striking a brilliant work-life balance with the hybrid working, because they can kind of leave for a flight on Thursday, straight after they've closed their laptop, get to where they're going to go, work from Bratislava on the Friday, then Friday night they're ready for the weekend to go out.
Yeah. Interestingly, I was on a website and I was on their careers section. I'm not looking for a job, but I've been curious, just being a bit nosy. And one of the perks that they listed in their recruitment is that for 3 weeks of the year you can work anywhere.
Wow.
From anywhere, so you're still working.
As long as it's their office.
like fly around the world somewhere and just work remotely for 3 weeks of the year. And I thought that was amazing because who doesn't want to have that opportunity to do that?
Absolutely. That again, one of the reasons I got into the web or digital in the first place in the 1990s was.
Sounds so long ago, doesn't it?
Back in the 1990s, was because I had this vision that we'd all just be able to work from the beach because it's all online or whatever. So that was kind of like a real big appeal. So
but you can't see your laptop on the beach, can you?
Yeah, but that is true. Who'd have thought of that?
You have to put a big blanket over your head.
Yeah.
Sweat.
And then just like, what's the point in being here? It's dark. And that was the kind of the dream. And that dream never really came about until more recently. And now I've got, kids, so that dream's gone.
Yeah. That is it, isn't it? That's
Bless
why I brought up the 25-year-olds. They've got it all, haven't they now? Because they really can just pick up and go wherever they want.
Well, we had someone doing a talk at your group who was doing it from a camper.
Of course.
I was like, well, how amazing is that?
In the middle of Europe, yeah.
So that's living the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
as long as
God
you've got
damn these
Wi-Fi.
kids.
And no kids, yeah.
So, Pete, anything that you'd have done differently, kind of looking back to your setup? I know you've said about you wouldn't have like your office as a dumping ground, but talking about the getting out in real life.
I think because I do miss that the personable side, and I know that there's places where you can hot desk, or you can possibly structured the work so that there was a time when it's like, right, I can now go out somewhere and work there. So I think I would have implemented that at the beginning.
It's
really.
not always easy, though, I find, to do the hot desking. I know, Kate, you've got that option at yours, and it's brilliant, and I've used it several times. But it is a case of, like, scheduling your diary, as in, I don't need to do client appointments then, so I can go and sit in someone else's office and, I think that is quite hard to just, like, be, where am I going to work from today? It doesn't work like that, does it? That's not reality.
Yeah, I mean, there are actually like loads of really nice spaces that you can hire offices for the day and what have you,
but then you're on your own, aren't you, again?
No, you can hot desk. I mean, I'm talking about the really posh ones that cost then like as much as a month's rent on an office. So it's kind of
pointless.
But you do get free coffee.
Oh, that's nice.
And usually something like weird, like a climbing wall. It's like, okay, that helps.
No, that sounds very Gen Z. So, what have you learned about yourself through this hybrid working?
That it works for me. I've definitely learned that, but, and I've talked about this on social media, is you absolutely have to make time to not be at your desk.
Yeah.
Working from home. Yeah, during lockdown, it was something that was enforced, and it became this almost aspirational thing of, I really want to work from home. But there's downsides to it. As we've said, it's you on your own, and you need to go out and see people and spend time. And even if, for me, it's just going to the local coffee shop or having the three of you sat around my kitchen table for half an hour every month. Yeah. There has to be that.
I agree, Pete. That's what it is for me as well. I think we can get very comfy behind the desk, me included. It's really important to get out in real life, or IRL, as the kids are saying. Mentally, it's so important. But as someone who doesn't like small talk, this can be where the magic happens. That's where you get the connections. That's where, some business comes out of those little snatched conversations, because that's where you're building up rapport. For me, it is about just getting out as much as possible and inviting people in as much as possible. Most of my clients are now online, but more than happy for you to come to the house and sit in person. But still a lot of people are like, oh no, I'll save the time and online, even though they're only down the road.
One of the other things, though, I'd say in terms of office working versus home working, or the hybrid model, there's a disadvantage in the sense of the commute, where it's like, that's another half hour in, half an hour out. That sounds like you're losing time, but I actually think that is your decompression time.
Yeah, definitely.
And that walk,
absolutely.
when I walk to the office or when I'm walking back more, my head can kind of switch off and get back into,
Definitely.
mode. Yeah.
It's a massive con for me, because I can switch off my laptop and then have to go and pick one of my kids up. And it's 5 minutes, and then I'm being hammered from what's happened at school, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't decompressed at all.
Exactly.
It's a massive con. Pete?
Yeah, it's kind of what Darren was saying there about that commute. My commute is about 7 seconds. So in 7 seconds, you've just got to You're right
on it.
That's it. We've got to switch. And so my wife works from home as well. And that, again, has kind of...
Does she work from home all the time?
Pros and cons. About 75% of the time. Yeah. Her job is a work from home job. Yeah. She doesn't have an office.
Yeah.
So and it's the thing that she really misses. Yeah. She used to have a commute of anywhere between half an hour to an hour. So what we'll do sometimes is we'll go, right, we're finishing at 5:30 or 6 o'clock or whatever, and then we'll just walk around the block.
Yeah.
It's just 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's just that time, like Darren said, to just kind of, right, okay.
Leave work
Let's
behind.
take that hat off and
Yeah.
we're done. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's a nice little habit to have. Kate, what have you learned about yourself?
Well, interestingly, I think earlier on today when we were talking about our why and our what, you know, what matters to us about the way we set the business up. And the reason I set my business up was because I wanted flexibility to be able to go to sports days, pick the girls up from school if they were poorly. I wasn't stuck in some 9 to 5. I used to get really frustrated with that. And there were occasions at my old agency, I'd be like, quickly go to the childminders, drop the kids off, go burning over to the office. Don't worry, everybody, I'm here, I've made it. And they'd be like, oh, we haven't really got anything for you to do for a couple of hours until someone comes in to brief you on it. And I'd be like, oh, for God's sake. And I'd have a lot of frustrations around it. And then when you want to be off for sports day, you always have to ask for permission and be a bit like, oh, is it okay if I go and do things like this? And what I really craved was flexibility. And I really don't like the structure. I know I need it in certain instances, but like I really like being able to go like, I need to do this, and I've got the freedom to be able to go and do it. So when I ended up getting the office space and employing people and suddenly feeling like, oh, I've just built my own 9 to 5 box
Prison.
again. Yeah. So like COVID was kind of a blessing really, because it totally shook that model up, and it meant that actually I was able to really enjoy the best of both worlds. So I think for me, hybrid working suits me like down to the ground. I absolutely love it, and it means that we've got a space we can call our own, we can brand it up, a space clients can come and see us, a place that, you know, we can bring our team to all collaborate together, but then I can just go home and just be a disgusting slob.
Best of both worlds. No cons.
I don't.
Well, there is a con. You have to pay rent for an office that you use in
Yeah.
half the week.
Mortgage.
I mean, that's the thing.
That is the thing, isn't it?
There is a big cost that comes with it, and
you're not fully utilising it.
No, especially for a hybrid, because then it's empty for 2 or 3 days a week, and then you just think, well, maybe you should just like get someone else to have it for the other half of the week, and just like split it that way. But I've even been thinking recently, why don't we just do away with it and just like spend 1 month in a villa in Spain instead every year, and we'll all work together over there. Like, why not?
I mean,
on the beach with a blanket on our heads.
We could all do that.
All in a line.
Record an episode of the podcast out there.
tax deductible.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I'm hearing. So challenges. What challenges have you got at the moment that are coming up in terms of pros and cons to office to home working? I mentioned about, I think people have got a real comfort blanket still around working from home. Like people in the me or you situation, Pete, where we do work from home 100% of the time, give or take. And they feel like it's more productive and they're still not getting out. And I feel like that big comfort blanket still needs pulling right back.
Yeah, I think the challenge for me is structuring that time away from the desk, is structuring my time in a way so it's like I don't feel... So if I think, right, okay, I need to write this blog post or I need to do this particular piece of admin, I can go and do that out of the house.
Yeah.
So structuring the week so that there are those pockets of not being at home.
Yeah, it takes planning, doesn't it?
Absolutely, which
it.
I'm like, Kate, can't be doing with none of that nonsense.
Challenges, guys.
For me, it's you do have to have a huge amount of trust in your team if you're working remotely. I have had somebody refer to a home working day as a day off in the past, and that was I don't think it was like treated as such, but I did wonder, how much can I trust that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in those days when we're not in. Yeah, especially if you ring.
I think that's a big fear, isn't it?
So I think you've got to be very clear on expectations of what happens. Do you have an online team meeting in the morning to still make sure everyone knows what they're doing that day, or
yes,
yeah, and make sure you've got regular touch points throughout the day where you can see what people are doing, and they can quickly and easily get feedback on stuff.
And you make sure they have their webcam on at all times.
I know, it does sound a bit like...
sounds like a different job.
Yeah, but that is the challenge. I mean, I don't have any problems at the moment at all, but... moving forward and as we grow, it's one of those things that you have to make sure
Definitely.
that it could potentially be an issue if you did have somebody that was like, oh great, it's a day off. You're like, it's not. It's just a day, a normal day.
Yeah.
You're just not in the office. So, I suppose that's the challenge, isn't it? Just managing people.
Yeah, but having the systems, because you've got the systems, haven't you, in place to negate that.
Yeah.
Darren, challenges?
One of the challenges I found when I was working from home versus now is that client meetings, which I always prefer to be face-to-face, would always have to take place at their office or some neutral location, which would involve me then travelling there, travelling back. And it just, that whole kind of system took up a lot of time. So now I kind of sort of semi-insist that all the meetings take place in person at our office. Yeah, so they turn up. I'm happy to host, and I feel like I'm making use of the office then, because it's also... we are using it, and I think it is a real plus having an office for that kind of credibility factor, because anybody in web design, particularly, because in web design anyone can set themselves up as and call themselves a web design agency, even if they are just sitting in their back bedroom, which is fine. But I think having an office does add that layer of credibility, particularly for client meetings with credible clients. So yeah.
So we've talked about the cons then. So let's finish up on the pros. What's the biggest pro you have to the hybrid working, or as me and Pete, home office?
Well, it's great having a few days off, isn't it?
Yeah. All my days are off. That's it.
All my days with my feet up, topping up my tan in my office.
I get notifications of emails on my phone, and I just watch This Morning. It's great.
Yeah, it's just the flexibility. Being able to get the best of both, be able to keep your business separate whilst, being flexible with your time. And I think that's the biggest win for me.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Biggest win for me has to be just being able to work with anybody, anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Because it really does just open up anywhere and everywhere. And that's fun. I mean, even if I can't be there, I love it that I've worked with a client in Saudi Arabia, or I'm working with them in the States. It feels great, doesn't it? It makes the world very small. Pete, pro?
Yeah, it's literally a combination of what the two of you were saying. It is that flexibility that, because I look after the house as well. So, one of our dogs has got an appointment on Friday morning, means I can go and do it.
Yeah.
I don't have to go and beg to someone for that time away, and it means I can work with anyone. Yeah, I've got a client in Brazil, we've got a client that is got offices all around Europe, and I don't need an office anywhere near them.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like very detached from the real world now. Is this still really a problem for people trying to get out of an office to deal with appointments? Is that still a thing? Do we know?
I know there's quite a lot of companies, or someone was telling me recently there's a company that's insisted everybody goes back in.
That's
back in
largely
full-time.
because it's a lot to do with the fact they're paying for an office. Or,
I mean,
a lot of MPs are like, oh, everyone's got to go back to the office, and then you look at their... they own load of commercial buildings. Of course, they want everyone to go back to the office.
Yeah.
Otherwise, those commercial buildings are empty, aren't they? So
yeah.
There's a lot of people who've got their pension nest eggs in commercial property, and it's obviously
Alarm
shaky
bells are
time.
ringing for 'em.
Yeah. But that's no reason to do it if it doesn't suit and if it's not flexible.
So, what's your biggest pro?
Biggest pro of it all is the flexibility. I mean, we've covered it there, and that's in a nutshell, really. The ability to have the benefit of the meetings in an office, team building in the office, benefit for the employees as an employee benefit to be able to work from home, I think is quite good as long as they can and they're happy to, which is sometimes a factor to take into consideration. They may not have the space themselves or the peace and quiet to be able to work from home, but yeah, it's the future.
Future's bright.
And the good news is my new job as an Amazon driver, because my wife orders so much from Amazon, I get to work from home too.
Is that what all the boxes are in your office? Is it?
Yeah, Amazon constantly. As always, guys, really wise words. Thank you for sharing. And for our listeners, please share, subscribe and review so our fellow business owners can enjoy, be inspired and always see the fun side of business too.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.